AITA for storming off after I didn't pay for my fiancé's sister's restaurant bill? Now, just for context, my fiancé's sister is a great person. She's very supportive and kind, and she has shown that. Anyways, last week, my sil was coming to town for Christmas. My parents and my fiancé's parents are very close, and I have known my sil and fiancé almost since childhood. When she came, my fiancé basically planned a dinner with me, her and my sil, in a very expensive restaurant, way out of my budget. I ultimately thought one of them was going to pay, because my fiancé knows my financial situation. I was happy to see my sil because she usually never visits town because she's studying computer science and usually stays at her university for most of the year. Anyways, we enter the restaurant and we booked a table for 3. My sil and fiancé ordered their meals, but my sil ordered few of the most expensive meals on the menu. I obviously thought they were going to pay for it, so I didn't think much of it. And I just got myself a $25 steak. We ate the meals and were happy across the whole meal, talking about how my sil's university is and everything about that topic. When the bill came, it totaled to around $300, way out of my budget. As I said, my fiancé indicated for me to pay with my card, and I nodded my head no, and she started squinting her eyes, and she looked clearly frustrated. We also barely go to any restaurants, and even if we do, we just split 50-50, and then that's what I asked the waiter. Before my fiancé cut my words and said, he will be paying full. And then my sil said that, my name, pay for it this one time. After she said that, I stormed off the restaurant and drove off to our apartment. She blew my phone up with calls and texts, but I didn't respond to any of them. She came home 35 minutes later and started arguing with me about why I didn't pay, and it was embarrassing for them. And it was childish about how you ran off. AITA? I know I was a jerk and it was childish of me storming off, but expecting me to pay over $300 for a restaurant bill was too much for me. Just for any confusions, I left $25 and a $2 tip, and before leaving, I said to the waiter serving us that they will pay. And then I left. Also, tipping here doesn't have a percentage, nor is it encouraged. This was not made in the US. I just made the money converted into US dollars. This is also a decoy account because my fiancé has read it, but she doesn't follow AITA. Your sil ordered a few of the most expensive meals on the menu. She ordered a few, and your GF just expected you to pick up the tab. No questions asked. No prior discussion? Oh, hell no. NTA, and your GF and her hungry sister can get TF over it. No. Leaving didn't make you look like a jerk. It made you look like you weren't going to be taken advantage of. I do hope you paid for your meal as you left. Through NTA, it sounds like you got ambushed. Your SIL's comment is telling. This one time, I'm guessing your fiancé has been complaining that you never treat her to dinner or other things, and they thought they'd force the issue. I've noticed that people who haven't had money troubles or don't understand why someone might not want to go into debt for a frivolous reason with credit cards often think it's cheapness. As in, yeah, she might know on the surface that you don't have much money, but her value system is different, so to her, you should want to make the gesture of paying now and again, even if the money has to be paid off or you sacrifice something else. I'd get this sort of difference in values resolved before marriage time for premarital counseling. Or else you will be one of those spouses who get surprised with a giant credit bill that their partner doesn't think is a big deal to have, because everyone has credit cards and they don't want to miss out on the next fun thing. $300 is no chump change. NTA. Not at all. If someone did this to me without asking, the two options are: We have a civil discussion about it and split the bill. Or I pay it. And they never hear from me ever again. In Ta, I would find it hard to pass that event. First they order the most expensive plates of the menu, willingly because they knew they would trap you to pay. And then second throw the bill in your face to paying for them. Think hard about those behaviors. If the communication is so bad between you and your fiancé, please think very hard about this marriage. It's not going to become magically better when there are rings on your fingers. NTA, you ordered a $25 steak and their bill was the rest? $275? You should have told the waiter you will be paying for your meal. Or left cash for your portion then left. Absolutely NTA. NTA. Absolutely not. They are selfish and entitled. Even if you had plenty of money, that was no way for them to behave. NTA. I've read many similar stories here. It seems like the fiancé wants to impress friends or family from out of town and show what a good provider, or successful man, they are engaged to. And they expect you to pick up the bill because you're the man. Or it may be a test of a different sort, to see if they can control you and finances in this way. Going forward into the marriage, you may have been childish to run off, but she was much more calculatingly childish to set you up like this. You had maybe 10 seconds to react, while she had set this up over hours or days. NTA, they didn't even check with you and just assumed you'd pay? Question mark. Screw them! Exclamation mark. NTA, you fled the scene because they tried to trap you for a bill you didn't agree to. You had already declined, shaking your head no. And the two tried to force the matter. Your fiancé planned the event. It's essentially on her to pay for all of you. That aside, if you normally pay for yourselves, that would still be the go-to. But throwing an entire bill onto one person with no forethought or discussion. If I was you, I would be telling her that if she pulls that again, you will be backing out of the relationship. You do not need to be steamrolled or bullied. Regardless of your parents being besties, no one needs to be tied to a selfish jerk that behaves that way. And who allows others, like her sister, to treat you that way. Sorry. But that is not how healthy relationships work. If she was so embarrassed, perhaps she should reconsider her actions so not to embarrass herself that way again. Because not a single piece of this is on you. Money is power. Money is status. She wanted you to boost her relative status and was counting on you to bow to social pressure. Now you know something important about her. NTA for not paying for them. Or even for leaving when you were voluntold to pay if they were really being the Oz you say they were trying to force it. That's just thievery on their part. Why didn't you talk to your fiancé before the dinner? That sounds like a big problem in your relationship. Has she explained what they were thinking? Why was it so important to her that you pay for meals you couldn't afford? Also, you say she planned the dinner. Then, we booked. Who invited people to this dinner? Even if you did the inviting, you did not offer to pay and did not take on an obligation. But the person inviting often pays, depending on culture. Also, if they set you up, it's more obvious. Use your words next time. Though, get a separate check. Let them be embarrassed while you don't have to be. Or just ditch these people who tried to take advantage of you then got mad about you not paying. NTA. She booked it, thus the logical assumption is that she was going to pay. NTA. If the meal isn't going to be, everyone pays for their own food, it needs to be discussed before ordering. They don't just get to volunteer someone to pay and expect them to go along with it. Pay $300 without asking you? NTA for that, but you know how it is about the other offense drama queen winking face. NTA if it wasn't discussed before dinner then it's not your shout. Plus your sil was an AH for ordering expensive meals just because she thought you were paying. NTA, how presumptuous and greedy of them. NTA, however, you could have discussed about this dinner with your GF. Did she expect you to pay because you are a man? Because it was your turn? I can't figure why she and your sil thought it was normal that you paid the bill this time. Plus, their way to cut your words is extremely rude. Storming off was not a good thing, though, and makes it easier for your GF and sil to depict you as a childish person. AITA dump the entitled fiancé and her sis. NTA this would make me reconsider making a lifelong commitment to someone.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.